T side, so that's cool to see for me.
Yeah, so when you said rifle play, I think you were alluding to a lack of AWP.
Yeah.
On the T side. So we'll see if that plays a part later. For now, it's pistols. 10th going to send Wenton back where he came from. From whence he came, that. Down there goes Flusher on a short. So, great start so far. Fnatic kind of stuck in the shop area. Again, it's also known as kitchen, but it is actually a shop in this version of the game and version of the map. So, 2 players left, Crims and JW. They know there's going to be crossfire situations, so it's really hard for them to commit out. Crims goes down, and now JW may just go hell for leather here as 1 versus 4. Not every day you're going to see him come back. 2 choosing to push, actually. Going to force the aggression. Some 1 versus 1s gained by JW, but the round will go to Dignitas. If any of you actually remember the old version of Mirage, send me a tweet. I remember when this version came out, North America was still playing the old version of Mirage for months. So when it came to European lands, they got bodied because they couldn't play the map down.
Yeah, whenever I see that old version in some old Vods, it really shocks me how kind of awful it looks. But anyway, we'll have to see if Dignitas can hold on their anti-force buy. Fnatic have fully invested, even JW having a Deagle and Kevlar as well as a helmet. So this is a scary one for Dignitas, but if they handle it correctly, they should be okay. Either the information play to decide which side to go in, or just get in the set piece, all the nades in the right spot. And here you go. They're going to try to make the entry. First frag by Dennis. He is slowing them down by Shadow, but he will eventually fall to Rubino. And that is a 4 versus 1. So Dignitas have done a really good job here, rapidly eliminating all the pistoling players. Wenton will finally get an extra kill, but generally speaking, this is a successful round, unless Wenton gets like a couple more kills. Ooh, looking like maybe he could have picked up another frag there, but only 2 players lost. A 2-0 start against an eco. All is well on the Dignitas ship.
It's sailing, Dan. The seas are calm, the wind is going in the right direction, and the rum is plentiful. No one's fallen overboard just yet.
There's no scurvy just yet either.
Yeah.
Plenty of citrus fruits.
No rats in the bottom, Dan. They're following the map to the treasure, but will they find it? We'll have to find out later on. Meanwhile, they're going to find some heads over to the A site, including Kiabi's, unfortunately for him. There was a fast push coming in through apps from the CTs, which may cause a flank from MSL's position, actually. Getting exposed, I was going to say double nick there, but the second one did not register as a headshot. So, 2 players lost for Dignitas. A UMP picked up for JW. That's really important. You saw MSL was taken down in complete isolation there, but he only gave up an SMG. Config, though, is in a bit of trouble here. He's been dinked. Flush has got all of 2 HP, but seems to be impervious to bullets with his final 2 hit points at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dignitas looking again to have another round in which they'll be, well, winning it without losing more than 2 players, which is, generally speaking, a success against a highly skilled team like Fnatic. You can always do something with pistols or any situation. And that 3-0 is going to be really cool because what it means is that we should see that strat book from Dignitas, rolling in at full strength. They can pick and choose as they may, and they'll have a better understanding of what Fnatic have. Instead of having to worry about the fact that Fnatic have lots of buys or lots of AWPs, they can essentially predict everything that's going to happen here. So it's really up to Dignitas and executing their plays. I think they should have a strong start here.
Yeah, so again, we mentioned that historically Dignitas have been a team who didn't always opt for the AWP on the T side. It's not the easiest map to use it, you might say. We'll see if that continues now. I feel like it's been a while since I casted Dignitas, commentated Dignitas on this map.
Yeah, well, we have a quick split coming in right now, and onto the B-bomb site. Really swift stuff here from Dignitas. Interesting, very much abusing that passive play in middle from Fnatic. They don't know what's coming until it's too late, and it's a quick B site taken. You must imagine Fnatic just want to save it. Maybe JW can get a kill falling back, or are they going to go for this? Looks like Crims was in 2 mines there, perhaps still waiting for JW to maybe pick off a player, but they will indeed go for the save. So there you go. That lack of mid control completely screwed them over there.
Yeah, that round came and went extremely quickly, Dan. Surviving with 3 plays, though, is at least something for the Fnatic side. But we'll see how much damage Dignitas can do in these early rounds here of the first map of this best of 3.
I'm not sure why that they had no information on mid. Whether it was JW pushing someone with the AWP, but surely you would have expected somebody to have even an ear on mid. Although they did walk up the catwalk, so I'm a little bit surprised. But that's a pretty awesome way to start off your first buy versus buy, and Fnatic will be kind of forcing up with what they saved. So it's going to look like a somewhat respectable showing for their equipment. UMP and Famis will make a show, so Fnatic get another chance.
Well, let's have a look. Ooh, JW unable to get off to a good start in this round. Smart enough not to re-peak, seeing 3 players coming in there. So top connector is going to be smoked off, and that will be connector in control of the Terrors. So 3 T still in mid for the time being. You see they're using the Molotov to force Flusher off the position on short, which is going to allow MSL to slowly walk into the connector JW flash, but from that distance he won't be flashed for as long as he would if he was considerably closer. An aggressive hold here from the CTs over towards Slate, but they've both gone down to Config and Tensky. Now JW's coming in and flashes the UMP, evening things up. MSL's been heavily tagged as well. Got a bit of a flank for coming in from MSL. The wide peak there from Wenton will do the job. And now Dignitas may have some trouble holding this, although Tensky through the smoke will take down JW.
Yeah, really good prediction from Tensky, kind of maybe anticipating that there will be some shenanigans from JW on the box. Actually, that's very common from AWPers to actually get on the box and jump so they can see over the smoke and then take a shot blind, kind of just kind of extrapolating where the position would be after what they last saw. But Fnatic going to have to go in now with the 2 or the 1 SMG and the Famas of Wenton. Wenton last man standing and 2 going for it right now. Close range and very low is Tensky. He will fall to Wenton, but Wenton hasn't got a kit. Oh no, what a disaster here for Fnatic. He's going to be able to take away the AWP and survive, but the round will go to Dignitas, and they surely have a lot of bank to work with here. That's the 5th loss in a row for Fnatic, so they can force behind this AWP. But that's definitely going to be quite disappointing for them. You can really see the power of Dignitas' fast and coordinated T sides here, where they're very quick to get map control. Again, as we mentioned, because they don't have that AWP, there's less focus on pick play and more focus on using those rifles to get you positioning. Yeah,
it's something interesting to observe actually. We have a push coming in here, but Wenton's going to get taken down. Responses though from Flusher will take down the in-game leader, which might make his job a bit easier now to direct the rest of his teammates. The bomb is stuck behind the boxes top mid though. Slowly coming off. There is a player in the underpass. Flusher needs to be careful. The Crims will save the bacon there, taking Tensky down. He was the lurker on underpass, which is going to make it harder for Dignitas to go for a split here. You can see Rubino holding a passive position in Palace while his teammates rotate in. So this is going to be a much stronger hold for Fnatic than it otherwise would be. Bit of a rotation coming in. Crims will go over towards CT while Flusher takes care of mid from short.
Yeah, nice little position there for Dennis, put in a ninja spot. Let's see if they will be able to spot him. He's been playing Shadow previously, and Crims will provide quite a nice distraction there from CT as 2 players start to shuffle in. Now, not actually kind of the split push you normally see from Dignitas, just 2 on slope now at this point. Everyone else has been picked off. A mad dash for the site, for the bomb planting the smoke. Wow, actually getting the plant. That is, from a 2 versus 4 like that, best case result.
Hero plants.
I can't believe he got that in the open, in the smoke. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's really nice indeed. There is actually, I should make a brief video. There is a smoke you can do for that from outside of T-slope, which you don't really need to like line up accurately. It just bounces in a general direction and collides with the box, and then away you go. So Fnatic get their first round on the board, though the pressure will continue for a while yet from Dignitas, despite losing that round and being wiped out. Seems they're going over for a faster A split on this occasion. MSL again is going to be the man up top mid, and he is again going to put that smoke down into connector, which I still haven't learned yet. That's a good one there.
Yeah, indeed, and you can see again, as I mentioned earlier, MSL often the guy to get himself in connector for the triple pronged attack. And so far so good. MSL wins the frag actually against the player coming on short, which means that they have a good idea of where the rest of the CTs are coming from. In fact, 3 are on CT right now trying to go for some boost shenanigans. Fnatic caught all out of sorts at the moment over by CT spawn. Dignitas looking to have full control of the situation. JW peeking into a very predictable position. Caught again that's 2 times he's been punished for that before he's able to do anything. And another round with Dignitas and their fast pace into these split plays, looking great.
Yeah, looking good. So Fnatic have been reset. They have some money, but we'll see if they opt to go for... Never mind. The buy does come in. I thought it would be unlikely they would save, but as time went on, I thought, are they going to save? Are they going to save? Of course not. They're not going to save in a situation. Not with this much skill on one team. So, Dignitas, is it a case of if it's not broken, don't fix it? You can see Dennis pushing up towards mid, but it won't really give him that much information as to where these players might be going. But we're going to find out now. The execute comes in towards the attack. JW playing on the corner of the toll booth there, but he's going to get shot straight in the face from Kiabi.
That's 3 times now where JW 0 for 3, essentially, in that situation, gets nothing. 3 times.
Wenton's coming into the flank, but he's going to get taken down by Tensky as well. So far, so good for Dignitas. These AKs are running riot on the A bomb site. That said, there are still 3 CTs. Flame's going to force Kiabi out of his position, but the trades come in here. Flush of Crims go, leaving Dennis alone. He is going to Scarpa, Dan.
I love this from Dignitas because, you know, that let's say that situation with JW, that is essentially after, you know, the smokes and everything is down, they realized the most dangerous position right now is this one little spot that's open there. Oh wow, Dennis is getting a few kills there right at the end. But yeah, going back to the point, Dignitas are fully aware that at that time in the push, that a player can be peeking from that position. That it's very common to do that. So it's a very easy kind of spot to aim at and just kind of predict. Obviously, it's great that Dignitas have been able to hit a shot before JW can land one. But you know, it's good to see that they're giving them. They don't have to react. They're already expecting and setting up what's going to happen into the future. So they're always ready, and that's great to see. And that fast pace really is working for them very well. Fnatic on these retakes can't quite seem to get anything going, and it's 7-1 now on this T side. Expected a strong T side, but I didn't see this in the cards.
Yeah, I would actually like to. I haven't seen Odie for a while. It'd be cool to have a chat with him and see how it's going behind the scenes. Your old team leader?
Yeah, I was signed to Dignitas between 2005 and 2007.
Yeah.
So long time ago.
Dan, the ex-Dignitas player. But the YouTube's 4K DDK.
Well, I joined them afterwards.
Yeah. I remember 4K.
Yeah, they had cooler
they were
shots.
the business back in the day. That was the cool stuff. Anyway, let's see what Fnatic can do on this eco. Just Dennis, that saved weapon. Couldn't just put out an absolute no man's land there. Just a man wandering the desert, executed by his foes. Didn't even know he had any.
Ran out of water, and dehydration sets in.
You know, it's interesting you say that. There was a mixed martial arts fighter called Evan Tanner, and I was a big fan of his. And he went on an adventure in the desert and he died then.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great adventure, James.
Horrible way to die, my friend. Being lost in the desert with no water.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
That is insane. That sounds like
brutal.
The worst idea, James. It's like, you know, there's not much to really admire, I suppose, like in the desert. I mean, it's so barren, such a barren and desolate landscape, you know. I mean, I guess maybe it's a survival thing, and maybe he was really into like survival.
Maybe it's yeah. You
So
know, nice to get away from all the electronics and bright lights. Either way, Fnatic are back on the full buy now. 5 M4s coming out for them. The AWP perhaps no longer affordable, but again, just 5 AKs. 5 rifles, no snipers. Maybe it's entire half from Dignitas. Always great to see, always interesting to see as well. I feel like maybe by default, people think like you always have to have an AWP. Ooh. I like how MSL is lining up his grenades, both his flashes and his smokes. I'm stealing all of those things from the demo, Dan.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, this is Dignitas' map. It always has been. And so you can see why the preparation is great, the tactics are great. We have a bit of a creep on short, actually. Could have an engagement there from Wenton as he's close to quite a few players here, Config and MSL, perhaps waiting for maybe a reaction, maybe an information play. And actually, Fnatic don't need to make one because they've got a guy in the flank here from Crims up on middle, and then all of a sudden, in comes Dennis as well. So 2 frags here, kind of cutting off what would have been one of the heads from this, what could have been 3-headed attack into B, but now it's just just a couple players left, but they have got a good position onto A, and it's quite amazing that despite all the players going down in the positions they lost, they still had so many options, and that really goes to show you the depth of some of these rounds that Dignitas have with the positions that they're able to win.
Did you see that flashbang from Firebox into Connector? You would never see that flash from a North American team. You would never see that flash.
Shots fired.
That is. I'm not trying to assault anyone. It's just the truth. It's just like, you know, they're putting in the time, the effort, and I think that level of effort is something that we're missing at the moment. But Vino now left with it all to do. I was just wondering what the plant was like for them. Oh, okay, they had the good plant there, but the position, it's still tough. If numbers are equal and CTs are on the site, and the onus is back on you, then it's difficult.
I mean, the best thing with a round like that is that Dignitas gave themselves so many positions to win from, and so many advantageous positions. That is what is it? That's basically consistency. That is the nature of consistency. Is trying to always make sure that you're able to put yourself in the best spots possible, so that the execution is the afterthought. Whereas a lot of teams try to get it done on the individual skill, and then they think about the execution of everything else afterwards. And it's Dignitas are doing it in a better way, and they're unlucky to lose that round. And here they go, another fast play into the A side. 3 players from Fnatic here on the defense, looking to get something done. But Ruben Owentensky shut it down immediately. Dennis in the ninja position again. He's going to try to wrap around to stop the plant. He's not in time, but he'll still get the frag here, and he's running around amongst so many T's in the middle of all the action. And of course, he'll get taken down eventually. But he's given Flusher a 1 versus 3. I don't know if this is really possible. They're going to have to all face him, and he's going to win all the duels, and he's going to get killed after the first one. And interestingly, for some reason, well, this is Fnatic's map pick, I'm told. I didn't actually realize that. I actually missed it on the vetoes. So that surprises me.
I think we made wild assumptions there.
Well, yeah, because to me, if you're asking me Dignitas' best T-side map, I'm going to tell you Mirage is right at the top of that list. So that is interesting. Perhaps that Fnatic are just trying to play around their standing, basically. What maps do we feel stable on with our standing, as opposed to what is Dignitas good at?
Yeah, what works for us, I think, is going to be a big deal. And maybe what they worked on, config, getting a team kill onto Tensky, we'll see if it makes a difference in this round. Wenton's picked up an AK. Again, it's an eco from Fnatic, one of many ecos we've seen from them so far, unfortunately for the Swedish side. Yeah, all about the ecos right now. 10-2. And again, it's going to be a struggle for Fnatic. Crim's buying up to a mag 7 of all things. So I expect that the struggle will continue. Basically no nades on the Fnatic side. So you have to expect some aggression. There's 2 people going CPL, so are we going to see a mid push? It looks like we are going to see an attempt, but maybe he's reading the desperation here. Dignitas with 3 people top mid will shut it down to start with. JW goes down as well. We see a player on short. MSL not going to overextend too much. There is a player on flanks coming out, and there's a 2-man spray down for Dennis, but he gets traded. So 3 versus 1. Where is the last player though? There he is, 11-2. Very fast round indeed.
Yeah, these rounds are very fast by the nature of Dignitas' choosing, which is why it was so important for them to get that pistol round start. I think that really makes a big difference for a team like Dignitas, that they want to throw plays at you when you're already sort of a little bit off balance, and then they always will have the ability to kind of control you a little bit. And Fnatic have always been in that position where they're in a highly reactive state, as opposed to on the CT side being able to dictate a little bit of the action by having at least control of the economy. That's not happened yet. And Fnatic now trying to go for the force buy. And again, they are facing ruthless aggression, although this time Dignitas have a much less safe play going in against the force buy than what we've seen previous, and they're going to be punished for it. 2 players are down already. Dignitas' MSL will get a quick trade. But it is a 3 versus 3, and they are kind of stuck in no man's land a little bit. It's in the middle there.
Winston being smoked off, but surely I would gamble on him walking through that smoke. Well, actually, it's a 2 versus 2 situation, so he can hold off on the risk taking for the time being. Crims with an AK as well, and full armor on both these teams. Suddenly, this becomes extremely dangerous for Dignitas, who still have a few nades. Tensky has Molotov, but he's going to get flashed towards short, and Wenton's going to shut him down. Now KRB has at least some of the information.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Fnatic knew the bomb was down in connector there, but But yeah, Kirby in this 1 versus 1 is quite an interesting situation. Is he actually going to go towards shop? That would be quite fun indeed. Here he goes. He's actually going to... Oh no, this is hilarious, Fnatic. Will they actually go into middle and towards A or connected? If that happens, that's going to be godlike for Kirby.
I think this is something we don't see often enough, though. The two final players just sticking together rather than... Oh, a bit of an escort service. There's... Oh!
Did he see? I don't think... No, I don't think he saw him.
I didn't see him.
Oh, but he hears him now.
Oh, this is crazy. But the leader's jump from Wenton gives the position away. Although Kirby will not be able to use that information. But, I mean, that was pretty crazy. But I like the fact that Fnatic basically, well, they had a bit of an escort to pick up a weapon. But they stuck together as well, as opposed to, oh, we've got 2 sites, let's put 1 person each site.
Yeah. Yeah, and Wenton and Crims essentially, well, you know, before it was the Olaf and Crims, that was the duo, you know, Olaf and Crims. And now it's obviously Wenton who has to basically fill in all those little roles that go with Crims, where they work together on specific sites or whatever setup it might be. So, you know, interesting to see how that will evolve as long as Wenton's on the team. And a bit of aggression in CT, or rather, sorry, Slope there to get some info. But James, I don't think information's really needed. They're very unlucky. I think essentially this is one of those rounds that maybe they just lose it because they just gambled on the wrong strategy as an opener. And they go, that's so gutting. Yeah,
this is a brutal half for Fnatic. This is the dying round of the first half as well. And we've got a 4 versus 2 with the 2 CTs split up from each other, 1 short, 1 over towards the shop area.
Do you know what they call this in StarCraft, James? They call this a build order win. Yeah, they call it a build order win.
You just make the wrong build order and then you're just behind.
Well, essentially, it's that you're opening. Basically, right at the start of the game, you put yourself either behind or you just automatically lose because you pick an opening that's like just hard countered by whatever they're doing, and it's something that sometimes you just can't know necessarily. Or sometimes, you know, in StarCraft, if you know you're going to be up against a specific opponent, you can actually maybe try to understand their builds ahead of time and maybe prepare one of those. But yeah, it means that you basically can't do anything. The way that the decisions go early on, you just. I mean, how do they win that? It's like they decide to like push more or less 3 players towards A and then fast rush into B. So
I tried a probe rush once.
A probe rush.
Yeah, and I failed then.
To do a probe rush, well, you need a very sick micro.
I thought like
to do that.
This is surely the most basic strategy possible, and I still failed. Well, in my attempts
the
to
problem
make
is
it work.
that well, okay, we can go into that maybe later.
Let's just leave it there altogether.
5 versus 5, of course. Everyone's alive at the start of the round, James. That's good to see. And we'll have 12-3 for Dignitas on the CT side now in their pistol on the A retake play. And the first pops will go the way of Dignitas. A trio of pops make that 4 and now 5. And Dignitas looking to start their CT side as their T side went as well, which is just insanely quickly.
There's an interesting flash from mid, the flashbang over the wall there. The problem with flashes like that is if somebody is playing CT, they're too far away for the flash to have more than a split-second effect. Just like when somebody throws a flash top mid and you're AWPing in window, you can still AWP them. And obviously, in a pistol round, they're likely to be there because they have the range advantage. There's no need for them to really go into a site when their USPs are almost triple the superiority in terms of range over the Glocks. So, yeah, I don't know if there's that much value in such a flashbang unless they are expecting that result and they're just trying to, someone's connector or something. Maybe it's going to help.
Nice off angle by Frontensky there initially, I must say. And it's quite funny because Dignitas are really having problems getting these frags, and they're putting themselves in amazing spots to abuse their advantages with the rifles, but they're really struggling just closing their kills here. And this is getting a little bit scary, but Dennis is not going to get much done with 3 HP, I shouldn't think, although you never know with Dennis. So Dignitas might make this a 30-minute first map, which is obviously Fnatic's pick as we discussed earlier. That's quite amusing. Again, I can't say that it's not too unexpected either, just because of the map. It's always been one of Dignitas's strongholds.
How much do you put this down to a lack of Olymp Meister though?
Well, I think a lot of it, like I think to an extent, like I said, they've had to change a lot of stuff because Olaf isn't there. Because Olaf was a huge playmaker for the team previously, and not only was he a big playmaker for the team, Flusher knew how to call with Olaf in the team. And
Yeah, it's a unit thing more than a player thing, maybe.
And also, well, yeah, definitely, because Fnatic did tend to play good fundamentals with a loose, fairly loose style, which was open to mid-round calls and so on and so forth, trying to use the skill of players to the max. But also, the other factor as well is like I mentioned before, the Crims and Olaf combo that's the thing. They played together for a very long time. They're going to have a level of synergy that's really godlike. They'll be able to read each other's minds, like these guys. So as well as now, Vugo trying to come into call, so that's going to change up the strategies a little bit, and that's to free up Flusher a little bit, so that Flusher can, like with Slemmy into Cloud9, to free up a star player essentially, so Flusher can play more individually or have a bigger individual game, as he maybe used to before he started calling. So there's a lot of changes there. So we'll have to see if they can figure it out. It's a tough challenge.
Scouts in play. Ooh, Wenton in the face. Poor soul, head armor as well. JW not having a good time of it either. So this does indeed, Dan, look like it's going to be a fast play. Look at Dignitas are doing so much well here. Just the fact that if you look at that double peak, they have a player coming into connector. Second CT gets right in line with him, doesn't overextend to allow the T to strafe to his left and give himself a 1 versus 1. He has to fight them both at the same time. So lots of small things being done really well.
Basically, all of our usual gripes when we watch matches. Let's say, some of them even in Tier 1, and definitely all of the Tier 2 matches and a lot of the North American matches as well. All those gripes, I don't really have any of them here. Like we saw really good coordination. We saw really good trade play. Flashing for each other. We saw good strategies. We saw them actually investing to take areas, and then they have a structure how to play out of that area. It doesn't just give them one option. They understand how to play multiple options from it. We saw decent mid-round calling. We saw anti-force splice, anti-ecos. Everything looks drilled. It's for both sides so far. So yeah, Dignitas really doing pretty much everything quite well so far.
Yeah, and off to a good start once again. MSL down in the window. Tensky just going to stop 2 frags to add to a third from another member of his team. And it looks like we are indeed going to be for a fast map 1, 16-3 here over Fnatic. So again, this was Fnatic's pick, so things can't